3.
That was bad. That was so bad.
John, you're gonna have to clap again, girl.
Wait, it wasn't even just John.
It was all 4 of us were.
Wait a minute, I clapped on beat.
It went Kerel, then it went me, then it went you. It was very spaced out.
Okay, let's do that over.
Okay, here we go.
That was the lag. That was the internet, right?
We'll blame that on
you
the
know what?
internet.
It had to have been the lag because I clapped on beat. So as soon as he said 3, I saw his hands go like this. So I clapped at the same time.
Well, guess what? We got it recording, so we'll do the instant replay later. And here we go. 1, 2, 3.
We got the receipts.
Right.
This is going to be the opening right here.
Exactly.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, here we go again.
Already off to a rough start.
Hi, aunties. This is Kari Kerning from New York City. What's brewing today?
Introducing AunTea Vodka Gimlet.
Rain on me or don't.
And a legendary Pride Month. So get your cups ready for Minority Report.
It's the internet.
We blaming the internet, but
That's
hello.
the internet.
That's all right.
Hey, community.
How y'all doing
guys.
this morning?
And we on the struggle bus clearly, but that's okay. It's Pride Month, bitch.
Yes. Come on, shake your tits for Jesus.
It's Pride Month. It's supposed to all be messy.
Yeah,
so just wait. It's June 1st, y'all.
That's a true
If you
statement.
can't be messy inside, well, listen, we can't be messy outside, so we have to be messy inside, right?
Ooh,
And
but
all
nobody
of
likes a
2020
messy
has been a
inside
mess. Oh, girl.
or
I
outside.
don't know what. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Too soon.
You know, some people into it.
It is Pride Month,
That
so
is
no.
true.
The answer to that is no.
That is true. Everyone that's watching on YouTube, hello, thank you. Please hit the subscribe button below. Click the bell so you get notifications when we upload a new episode. And then also you'll see that there's a 4th auntie today.
Yes.
Hey.
Would that be me?
Hey. And so
that means you.
Right, that means you, girl. So what's your auntie name?
My auntie name. I'm going to be AunTea Vodka Gimlet.
Ooh, okay.
Because, you know,
that's the
it
upgrade
sounds
from
fancy. It's not.
Look,
the
she's
upgrade.
she's part of the House of Vodka, okay, girl?
Yes. That's Well,
Ew.
welcome. Thank you for joining this episode with us and the community. Just so you know, for Pride Month, we got a couple tricks up our sleeves, and so each week there'll be a little something for
A new face.
the community, a new face, a new auntie, a new vodka gimlet.
Well, I am honored to be here and be an auntie. I'm so glad.
Well, tell first off, before we go, tell the community a little bit about yourself, who you is, where you from, what you do, who you like, you sing, who you're not, you know. Come on, this is now, the flow is yours, girl. Come on now.
I'm like leaving the list. That's a lot of questions to answer. Okay. Which am I now I have 3 names, so I don't know which one to be using.
Your heart desires.
My name, AunTea Vodka Gimlet, John Olson, or my drag name Kari Kerning. I'm a queer artist in New York City, and day and night making gay art both ways. By day I'm a graphic designer. By night I'm a lady of the stage, or right now my bedroom, because that's where we stuck at.
A lady of the bedroom.
Do you consider yourself?
I was waiting for the O to come there. There was a
concept
pause
queen?
and then some O's, so that. I love that phrase, concept queen. I like to tell stories with what I do, you know. So we have to have a little bit of comedy, a little bit of props, and mostly a concept is what I like.
I love John's drag. One of my favorites is the one where your legs are the vagina.
Ooh.
You like how that's set up as if it's gonna be like
right? Okay,
right.
I need more. She needs more.
I wasn't
Give
ready.
me more. Okay.
I set it up. I told you she was a concept queen.
I like to consider myself like the Carrot Top of drag in that I have very broad shoulders and I love prop comedy, you know?
Well, you look way more handsome than Carrot Top.
Oh, thank you. I'm not on that creatine steroid yet.
Yes.
Oh, wait, so what's this vagina monologue you talking about?
I do have a duet number where it's me and my Muppet vagina singing back and forth to each other because, you know, it's a love story and we're here to celebrate queer love.
Yes.
And what more special love than the love you give to yourself?
That's a true statement.
Okay, you know, I'm here for that. That's a message. That's the message. I hope y'all listen to community. That's the word, okay?
That's the word. Come on, preaching on this Monday.
Yes, come on now.
How long have you been doing drag? That's exactly.
Go ahead.
Wait, I'm trying to remember everybody's auntie names, and DeJuan, you don't have your auntie name up right now, so I don't know who I'm calling you. I need to be reminded. But we've known each other for like 10 years because I started in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah. It's been a long time.
Wow. Okay.
But yeah, I started drag 10 years ago with Nina West in Columbus, and I was there for about 3 years, and I've been in New York City ever since. So I've been around a little bit.
Are you from Ohio originally?
I lie and say I am, and a lot of people believe that lie.
So yes.
I consider Columbus my gay home. That's where I came out, and that's where I started drag. So spiritually, that is my home.
Your spiritual birth was
right.
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Birth.
Yes.
Chosen family, second birth. You know, I'm still doing the vagina with my hands.
Look, you know, bring it full circle.
Stop.
Still in that vagina. We're still there.
Yeah, getting in there. Midwest all day. Four Midwesterners right here.
I do feel like Columbus it's like a sleeper city because it has an incredible LGBTQ plus community. It's incredibly open, a lot of allies. It's a great place to come out and be out and feel like you're part of a community and have a lot of variety and all that kind of stuff that you crave out of a city. And there's just a lot of talent there. So it helps.
There's so many people. Oh, that's a big part of it. Yeah. I think you get a lot of people in and out too, you know, like you see people in New York from Columbus all the time, which is great, you know, coming and going through business or school or whatever.
Columbus is a microcosm. It's the state seat. So that's the state capital. It has a lot of, probably one of the highest higher ed per capita in the United States, not but one of, because there's a lot of higher education there. A lot of creative companies are there, especially fashion. So you've got limited brands, Abercrombie & Fitch, Express, Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, DSW, Value City. There's like a lot of retail that's there.
He said Value City. He threw Value City.
I know. I was like,
in Value City.
It's all tight.
That's what it is.
Hey, I mean, I came from
and most importantly, a lot of gay people there. That's the most important thing.
Well, look, as soon as he was listing all those places, I was like, yeah, we in there. We in that light swimwear, like for real. I mean, I've only been to Columbus because of the Gay Softball World Series, and it's probably. It was one of my favorite times I've ever had at a Gay Softball World Series. So
I think I performed in the drag after party a few years for that. So
probably okay.
We may have crossed paths.
Probably.
I have never done drag, and it's still on my list to do. Like even during like quarantine, Cora and I were like, because like we sit there and watch like all like the drag tutorials that they do after they like lose or whatever of Drag Race, sit there and do their makeup and everything. I'm like, I feel like I could do that, and we were gonna do it during.
You haven't even done like a Halloween?
No, and I'm a huge dresser.
Well, you did dress
up
up like Peppa. You dressed up like Peppa.
That is true. Like my husband and I, we were salt and pepper. We were salt and pepper one Halloween. Well, 2 Halloweens because we left Dallas and then we brought it to Atlanta as well. But I wouldn't even consider, like, I didn't do a beat face.
Yeah, you didn't do a beat face.
There's no makeup. So, if there's no makeup, then
exactly. Like, I think we did lipstick and like mascara.
Use a man in a dress.
Use a man in a dress. Right, exactly.
Maury, that's a man. That's a man,
little boy in drag. Where's the little boy in drag? Where's the little Latin boy in drag crying?
You know? So, like, I want, like, a beat face. I want it all. But then I was like, do I really feel like spending that much money on makeup?
For a look.
Clearly Corey and I are different shades. So we had to get two separate sets. I know. So I'm like, damn. But it's on my list to do.
It is the second drag holiday is coming right up because Pride and Halloween are the two times a year that you can be messy drag and it's okay. So that's your open window.
But
if you want to go to CVS,
my ass in the crib, I ain't going nowhere.
Isn't that
I was that Rona's
still out there. Camera, get on Zoom.
That's true.
Well, isn't that a little cliched? Like a lot of drag queens get their start on Halloween. You know.
Oh, they're all born then. Yeah. Too many,
but it's a little cliche. You know, like if I was gonna like really,
is that the drag New Year? The drag New Year.
I don't want to come out on like either Christmas or Easter. You know, like buck the system, come out with Jesus.
As Jesus,
risen. She has risen.
This bitch is Mary Magdalene.
Like, not at a club, at the family
Mary
dinner.
Magdalene of the House of Apostles, bitch.
Could it be Mary Fagdalene? Ooh, no.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's
a good one.
Mm-mm.
Or is that
like? You can say that. That's good.
I didn't want to say it because of just the religious part of me, but it was just there for the taking.
Kerel, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Real quick.
Yeah.
When we get back, did you trim up your mustache?
No.
No? Okay. On the camera, it looks a little trimmed up.
Yeah,
it looked a little trimmed up. And I was like, Corey, got your ass, girl.
Right. He's been literally like, I feel like I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night and he's just going to shave it off. But it's quarantine life, the struggle. I don't care. Is what it is. But do you remember your first performance? Like were you shaking? Were you like excited? Were you scared? Were you anxious? Like I always wonder like that first performance.
And is there pictures? Because I want to see this.
Unfortunately, there are a lot. So I can share them afterwards because I can't hide them at this point. They everywhere.
Yes.
There was a bar called Havana in Columbus, and they had an open stage. Oh, you remember Havana Bar? They had an open stage competition there. And it was called Miss Havana, and I did my first time in drag was in a competition, and I had no idea what I was doing. I went to my friend's house before, like the night before, we like choreographed it out, and by choreographed I mean I was not kicking, I was like point and then look and then point, like I was too scared to do anything because I'm not like an actor or anything. So like
what was the song?
We figured
what was
it
the
out.
Song that you did it to?
Ooh.
So I came in with a little mix. It definitely had the Britney Spears cover of My Prerogative in it, and I mean you have to
exactly, obviously.
And I was dressed up as Sarah Palin because this was back during those dark times. Not the dark
I
times right now.
am dead.
And I definitely pulled a Bible out of my pussy and a pin-up of Levi Johnson, that guy who knocked up her daughter and was in Playgirl, fell out of the Bible, and I won the competition. So that's how it worked.
I'm here for it, girl. I'm here for it. For a first time, bitch, you look. First impression.
She wasn't
me.
coming out trying to be fish. She was coming out. She was about to educate the children.
That's what I say now. I probably thought I was trying to be fish by looking at the photos, and she definitely was not trying to be fish.
So wait, what made you want to do drag in the first place?
Well, I went to art school, so I was like an illustrator and a graphic designer in college, making pictures and being a little gay art kid. Yeah. And I always loved drag, so I would like host the as part of the student groups, like host drag shows on campus once a year where queens would come in and go to the club and tip dollars and be so excited. And finally, my friends were like, "How have you not done this?" Right. They were mad at me. They're like, "You need to do this. You need to do this competition. You need to enter because this is ridiculous."
Yeah.
And I was scared to death and would not have done it were it not for the pressure of my friends. So I have them to thank for the insanity I've brought onto the world since then.
I'm here for that. Yes, I want to do it. I want to do it. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, you need to. Every gay person, every person, not even every queer person, every person should do drag at least once.
And I think I would.
You gotta have, and you have to have a photo that when you get drunk at a party, you pull it out. You know?
What would you say, like thinking back, because like you remember a lot of details from like your first night, which is really impressive considering like how often you perform and how long your.
Well, I drank a lot less then, so
that would make sense. That was
you asked me memories about last week, I might not have them, but back then I was young and didn't drink that much. So.
That part.
What advice would you give yourself, like your old like your young, not old, but your young drag self?
Young Kari.
Like now being in the game for a minute.
And was it Kari from the
That's a good
get-go?
question. Oh, it was Kari from the beginning. And I spelled it that way because there was a lesbian who worked at Wall Street nightclub. I keep name dropping Columbus places for
oh God, not Wall
Columbus
Street.
stand
Oh
up.
my goodness.
Yeah, for like 40% of the audience that's enjoying that.
Yes.
She was this fierce lesbian with a short haircut, and I thought she was gorgeous, and she spelled her name Kari, and I was like, that's what I want to be.
I hear that.
But if I it's honestly, it's why I say everyone should be doing drag too, because like I've always been a very like, I was brought up in a very conservative, not like crazy religious conservative, but like we don't express ourselves a lot, you know, like I never danced publicly until I like went to college and just said fuck it one night, you know, like I didn't know, I wasn't comfortable in my body, I wasn't comfortable publicly just like expressing myself. And if I had let go of that earlier, I would have been so much happier. So drag was like a way to just loosen the fuck up and, you know, calm down and don't worry what people think about you. And that's why I think it's great to do.
Love it. Love it. I'm here for it.
I'm here. Me too.
I keep now looking at your face being like, how are we going to paint you?
I know. Is that, hey, come on. I'm here for it. Give me some lessons.
I mean, you got great cheeks. You're going to look good.
Thank you again from my mama.
As long as you're okay shaving that mustache.
I will shave it for drag.
She gonna end up looking like Latrice Royale. Come on now. Don't be gassing her up. Don't be gassing her up.
Not Latrice. I ain't that big.
Look, she's trying to earn.
Good God, get a grip, girl.
She's trying to earn that invite back.
I mean, I know I picked up a couple pounds during quarantine, but damn, not Latrice pounds. Shit. And that's no shade, no tea. She's a big girl and she's lovely. That's no shade, no tea, no nothing. So I'm gonna put that out there. I love you, Latrice.
I think any added pounds during quarantine don't count because we've all done it. So like a rising tide, all boats go up. So it just cancels out. We can all use the numbers we had before quarantine, and then we get 6 months afterwards to get back to those numbers. So it's all fine, right?
The reality is nobody's
I
seeing
bought
you
a
from
bunch of Speedos. I bought a bunch of tanks and crop tops for this summer back in fucking January, okay? Bitch can't wear shit. It's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I think the same holds for the fashion season though. Next year it'll be just as in style and you open up back then.
Right.
It's like we're just gonna redo this season again.
Right?
Yeah. It's the redo 2020. That's the
reality of it is you won't be able to see anybody from like the chesticles down, so it doesn't make a difference. Put on them pounds, be happy. Make sure you're not gaining up here. Make sure you're not gaining up here.
Let me tell you, performing in drag on video. Oh, the neck exercise. That's good.
Yeah, you know
when you perform on when you. Oh, I'm taken aback by all this neck movement. I like it. I've been doing these Zoom gigs in drag, and
the Zoom.
We talking about not wearing pants on video. That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
That's the best part of this whole thing is I have not.
Did you see Andy Cohen stand up and show his boxer shorts on Real Housewives reunion?
I didn't see that.
On the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion.
What kind of boxer shorts were they?
At the end of the reunion, which was 3 damn episodes of Zoom calls, which is ridiculous and overkill.
They always have 3
stood
episodes.
Up and showed off his boxer shorts. Huh?
They were like,
were they worth seeing?
No, they weren't. They were like, I don't even know what they call them. They're like the old school, like light blue 1960s Brady Bunch boxers.
They were Banana Republic boxers.
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
It wasn't
it's not as good as right. So John, what were you saying though about the Zoom performances?
Oh, about being pantsless. Back on topic.
Back to that.
I was just saying I've been doing shows remotely for the past 2 months. There's a lot of New York girls, at least I think all over the country, girls been performing online. But the best is you just got to get ready here up. So I have not worn anything from here down. You think there's hips on, you think there's heels, just make sure that camera is tight.
Do you still have the tuck?
I tell people I am, but no.
That's got to be really uncomfortable to have to tuck and then sit on it for like a good hour and a half.
Tuck and sit on
Are we still talking about drag, or are we talking about something else?
Right, exactly. I don't know where she was going.
I mean, we can record all types of things in our apartments now. It's fine. No judgment, you know?
So what's obviously you're doing the Zoom things, and so there's not a crowd to amp you up and things like that. Has it been easier or harder than you thought it was going to be doing like the Zoom parties and stuff like that?
That's a good question.
I think it's been different in like surprising ways. Like there's things you lose. You're not getting that audience response. You know, there's something about being in person at a performance and all the gay people around you and the energy. You don't have that. Yeah. But there's stuff that you can do. I've seen girls use like projectors and TV screens behind them. I've seen like props that you would never see in a real bar because, you know, they're small like paintings or things coming up in green screen stuff. There's it's kind of interesting and exciting to see how creative people are being. So, you know, it's like new medium, new things are happening that are great. And I hope to stick around afterwards because I love it. I saw one girl, I think it was Aquarius.
I need to see more of these.
In her room. Oh, Aquarius one was really exciting. She had like 6 of those different color changing LED lights on her phone, and she just was hitting buttons the whole time, and all the lights would change in camera. And I was like, oh, okay, she thought this through. She has some production.
She's like, I'm bringing all my creativity.
Production.
Yes.
Well, that's the kind of production value you can afford when you get that $100,000.
I guess so.
The budget we're all living with, right?
You're right.
So do you put like your Cash App up, your Venmo? Like, how do you get tips?
Oh, Venmo is a lifesaver. Most of I think some of the big girls are doing big girls like Popular, not like, you know, Latrice Big. Some of the big girls are doing it on Stage It or those other pages.
Got it.
That's how I can tell.
Caught it.
Got it.
That's how I can tell where the Zoom lag is. Some of them are doing ticketed stuff though, but most of it's free, and you just Venmo tip, and I think that's great too because, you know, people are in all type of financial states right now. There's a lot of people who don't have money, but you still get to have some sort of queer community and see a show and, you know, get your life in your room.
Drag is such a mainstay for like the LGBT culture, and you know, I love the fact that, you know, folks are finding creative ways to express themselves and get their art out there, and, you know, and entertain people, because, you know, it's not just a financial thing, but, you know, a lot of people are like depressed. They can't get outside. They can't go outside. You know, they can't, you know, they're stuck in their house. They're looking at the same 4 walls. All they can do is go to the supermarket. And, you know, it's so nice to be able to, well, let me put it this way. For those of us that live in New York, and, you know, I know there's a lot of other places out there that already then opened up, and, you know, they're living their best lives like nothing ain't going on. But, you know, for those of us that are in New York specifically and are locked down, you know, like, you know, it's such an outlet to be able to have something like that to look forward to.
Preach it. Well, you know, so I guess one last question. We'll see if we'll get you on record. Who do you think is going to win Drag Race this season? Because by the time this episode comes out, we'll know the winner. So we'll see how accurate, if you want to share. We don't want to put you on the spot. We know you're in that community, and it's a small community, so we don't want you to ruffle too many feathers.
Is this where I say all 3 names and then you dub the right one over?
There we go. I can do that. I can do that.
I think, and then you put the right word there.
Like ding, 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 ding.
Latrice Royale.
Right.
Plot twist.
Or if you don't want to answer that question, like what's been some of your favorite moments from the current season? Maybe that's a better question for you.
Oh, I mean, I'll answer that question.
Okay,
you know?
Let's spill the tea then, girl.
I will say all 3 of them are really exciting this year, I think, because they're very different, and all 3 of them have done really well. Like I thought I was not going to like Gigi Good because I was like, another pretty LA person, whatever. But she's had a personality. And then Jada Hall is like, has just been perfection and so polished and so incredible. And Crystal, I think, is like, Crystal's the weirdness I've wanted from Drag Race, because some other people have done it, but like she brings it consistently and surprised me even when I think I know what kind of weird she is. So I'm happy with all three, but I think from track record and just, aesthetics of drag, I want to say Crystal, but I'm going to say Jada because she has just been consistently incredible the whole time.
Yeah, we'll see. So who did I say? I said
I'm waiting for the room to judge the room's
answer.
reaction.
I don't watch Drag Race, so I don't have an answer. I'm rooting for everybody black. That's my answer. Come on, Jada, we in there. Right. Come on, sis.
I said last week's episode, I said they might give it to Crystal just because she's someone different.
Yeah.
I said Jada has just been so consistent from the beginning, and she's like the quintessential what you think of drag queen is. And then Gigi was, like you said, was a surprise to me, honestly. Like, she does have a personality under this fashion model-esque thing she gets. And Dewan, do you know who Gigi is? She's the niece. Do you remember Stuart at Big Chicks in Chicago? He was a bartender. That's his nephew, whatever you want to call.
Oh,
Isn't
so when
crazy?
he was talking about spending time with his gay uncle who helped him come out, that's who he was
Big
talking
Chicks.
about.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Small world.
Yeah,
but,
that's wild.
But I feel like what hinders Gigi is just the history of Drag Race, RuPaul's Drag Race. She kind of almost fits a little bit of that model of previous winners of looking pretty and glamorous, that they might not want to give it to her just solely because so many have already been in a similar lane. So I don't know, but like you said, I think all three this season was killer. Like, I thought going into, like, Dewan and I had conversations like, okay, is RuPaul's Drag Race kind of hitting that spot where it's going to be too predictable, it's not going to be as good anymore? And this season killed it for me. So it surprised me in that regard.
I'm just amazed that, getting it to this point, how many really big personalities came through this season, and how many storylines they were actually able to explore because there were so many personalities. And there are people that legit, by the time we got down to like the final 5, I forgot and thought that maybe it was a whole other season of Drag Race where these other personalities were. And I'm not saying that as a shade or, as a put down. It's just, it was every single episode, literally every single episode, between the challenges and the personal interactions that was going on, there was a lot. And it was really, for me, exciting to see that much diversity of talent and creativity. And, a lot of people, I think the trend is now drag queens have to have like a brand, a really defined brand. And I think that's coming through loud and clear, like as the seasons go on and on and on, whereas in a lot of the previous seasons, you can be a drag and have a lot of different aesthetics, and that seems to rub them the wrong way. And so it's just really interesting seeing like this season where you saw a lot of really great conflict, a lot of good performances, really great looks, really entertaining queens, really great lip syncs for your life. There were a couple that were like, oh, really? Like, that was a meh, and they both should have gone home.
We know the one you're talking about.
Right.
Just going to put it out there.
The true winner this season, though, outside of Heidi, the girl that was the broccoli. She was on every damn episode. Like,
girl,
literally.
They're like my mother trying to force feed us broccoli when we did not want it. Let me tell you. I was like, I gotta have this broccoli again.
Right, again, Ma? Seriously.
And that was a little bizarre though, when you really think about it. Like, out of all the things to pick up and to repeat over and over and over again, that was a thing.
I don't know. Somebody has a relationship with casting, or somebody of the
100%. 100%.
Who did what? Who never mind. I'm not gonna spread no rumors. But anyway. Have you ever auditioned for RuPaul? Is that something like you think about doing, or is that like
It's something I've thought about. I did audition one season, but I've since not. I don't know if it's for me and the type of drag I do, although it's an amazing opportunity, and I think it's a huge investment if you want to do it right. financially and time-wise. And I just think right now it's probably not right for where my art is going, but I never rule it out in the future. So who knows where life will go.
Good answer.
Well,
I like that answer.
Listen, depending.
I know
depending on
Viacom's
how
listening to this.
I know that's right, but no, that's a true answer though.
Depending on how drag race and RuPaul end up kind of taking this franchise, there might be a lot more opportunities that are presenting themselves. So,
absolutely.
Well, and that's what I hope, is that there's more than just one reality show. And when you it's already starting. I don't know if y'all watched We're Here on HBO, but it's turning into like a really unique and exciting, I think, voice of a TV show. And it's an opportunity for three queens to shine and do something different. So if we get more of that happening, I'm all down for it.
Yeah. That just goes back to what I was talking about earlier. The fact that drag has been this pivotal part of like these communities, and one of the things that we're here on HBO is really doing is showcasing the power of drag, and the fact that you can like put on a different persona and step into the power that you never even thought that you had. And that is so really needed in a time like this, where so many people are like struggling, with a lot of different things. And to have a show like that showcases what, creativity can do for you, and what courage can do for you, and what, the power of drag, and, being able to embrace your own creativity. It's a really powerful message. So I'm glad that things like that exist.
Well, I think you're going to hang out with us the rest of the episode, right? Get your opinion for some Ask Your Aunties and all that good stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. Well, I know, Jerrell, we probably lost you there a little bit. She's like, I ain't watching nothing.
Girl, look, sure am. I'm reading the tea on Facebook right now for some of my former athletes that I coached. And yeah, one of them became a police officer, and a couple of her classmates are now dragging her across Facebook. And I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, man, now my babies. But they're grown-ass women now, so y'all.
Yeah, exactly. That's for them to handle.
Hey, y'all grown.
So they're dragging her because of the whole, and I guess maybe that's a segue into the whole George Floyd incident.
Yeah,
they're dragging her for.
She just recently became a police officer, and by recently I mean literally at the beginning of the year, December, January. She's
a rookie.
She's a rookie, and she's also a white woman as well. But I guess someone had a white woman. But I guess someone had asked her why she wasn't using her platform to speak up and say stuff like that. And I guess one of her former classmates, called her out, and there's been blockage and all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. I'm torn because I get it.
Yeah.
We got to hold people. We got to hold our allies or those who care about us accountable, especially in situations like this. But I also know that we also can't we can't stereotype all police officers at the same time. I find it hard to balance that line, because I know plenty of Black men and women who are police officers as well that really feel like they can't do anything. They feel stuck because it's also their livelihood, but it's also their livelihood for who they are as Black people too. So,
yeah.
I always find it problematic when people try to tell others how to protest. You can be a person of privilege, and I get people saying, oh, you should do more, and kind of putting it out there. But at the end of the day, that's a choice for that person to make. And whatever reason they have for doing it or not doing it, I always find it problematic when somebody says that you need to be doing more. It's my protest may be looking very different than what yours may be looking like. And it doesn't have to look the way that you need it to look or want it to look.
I mean, I do think we have to hold white people more accountable, just because it is a system that they created, and the only people that can really dismantle is white people from within. That's the truth. I mean, so I think we do have to challenge our white allies to be more vocal and to speak up, and to put themselves in those situations that might make them feel uncomfortable because they're speaking up for someone who doesn't look like them, but that's the only way that it's really going to get done. I just don't like when people just get mad because they haven't yet said something, give people room to figure out, especially, and, when it comes to our allies, there is no book as far as how you have to do it. but I think it is okay to ask, you know, for them to speak
100%.
up, but just don't tell them, well, you didn't do it how I wanted you to do it, so you're not doing it. That I just don't.
That's the wrong kind of energy.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the wrong kind of energy.
Especially-
And the reality of it is that people that are that demanding of others should be that demanding democratically. Like, don't just go after certain white people or certain people, you know, like
Or
be
certain
very
professions,
democratic about how you're encouraging other people to speak out. Yes, we need to hold white people, you know, more accountable, but you know, if you're ignoring the grandmas and the grandpas or the, you know, the Aunt Susies and whatever's because, you know, they bake you cookies and you're not trying to rock that boat, then are you being a little bit of a hypocrite in terms of who you're picking and choosing to pick that fight with?
I just don't like the calling out in a public setting like that for me, because that's that energy, like you said, that's already going to put her on the defensive, and she's not going to be thinking clearly or wanting to help anyone if people are coming at her like that. Like, if you consider a friend, obviously we know Facebook is acquaintances and things like that, but like, I feel like out of all the social media, Facebook is a little more people you know. There's a DM feature. You might have my cell number. You might have my, you know, you could text me and just be like, hey, what are you doing in that regard? Are you thinking about putting something on Facebook? Because it's just like, maybe she doesn't want to put it on Facebook. Maybe she's already doing stuff internally at her job that she doesn't need to post right now because it's already in process and she needs to see it through or whatever. So that's the part that I always struggle, is just like literally pinpointing one person, be like, hey, Jerrell, why haven't you said something on Facebook today? Da, 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 da. Like, why are you calling me out like in front of all these people like that? But on the other side, like you said, I think there is a responsibility specifically on the white community to have to dismantle a lot of the racism and injustices that are occurring, because they're the ones that built it up. They're the ones that created it in this country. But how they go about that, as long as you're going about it, cool. And then, yes, there might be some people that want to see you say it publicly and things like that. But pull that person aside at first and be like, hey, Jerrell, what are you working on? I know you're in the police academy. I know you're working in the police job. What are things that you're doing, and what are things that you're seeing within your job that they're trying to do to better and rectify this situation? I just always think there's certain ways to go about certain things, especially in a heightened situation like this already, where people's emotions and everything are already on 10 about this situation. So you got to kind of almost watch the energy that you go towards people with.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's important that we remember that attacking people to help you is not the way you get people to help you.
Exactly.
You're just not.
Nope.
You know, like if you're gonna slap me in the face and then ask for help, bitch, I'm gonna slap you the fuck back and say, fix your own goddamn self. You know, like she ain't the one.
You might like that kind of stuff.
I can't.
Well,
True.
sometimes.
True. But she don't. You know, unless it's back here, then, you know, you can slap this all you want to.
She said,
okay,
choke me, daddy. But yeah, that was too far, my bad.
But no, I think, you know, the last couple of days, some of the, like, I had to log off of social media actually the day that we found out, or I saw the video of George Floyd, and it was very hard for me because, you know, I used to call Minneapolis my home. Like, I used to live there. And I just left there.
You just left.
On top of that, I was just there. And so to see this happen at a place I used to call home, it just solidified. I was like, God, I'm glad I'm not there anymore. But at the same time, I was just like, fuck, like, why is this happening? And this is not the only time, because also, Philando, is it Philando? What was his name, right?
Yeah.
Yep, he was also killed in Minnesota as well. He was killed in St. Paul. You know, so as I'm very discouraged, and I see a lot, unfortunately, I see a lot of our brothers and sisters out there like mad and angry, rightfully so, you know. I just encourage everyone just to continue to remember that there is value in the color of your skin, for being brown or any other color than white. You know, you are loved, you are appreciated. I see you, we see you. And just, I encourage everyone to continue to be vocal and continue to speak up from a place of positivity and love, because that's how we're going to get things changed first before trying to change it through hate and anger. So
I agree. And it just also shows, like, we always preach voting and like the US Census and everything on here, specifically voting even locally, not just the presidential year, because that's a lot of times how your sheriffs are picked, how a lot of, you know, just local laws and things like that, and people that are represented in your local community are elected. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, my vote doesn't count. In this situation, it kind of shows, because at least the police chief was a person of color and was like, you know what, they're fired. Obviously they still need to be charged and things like that, but it's just like they're getting the FBI in quickly, etc. And it seems like it's at least the process is going a little quicker this go round than maybe some of the other times people have been killed. So that right there shows you representation at all levels of all jobs matter. Because if I'm a black guy and I see a citizen getting killed because the cop put his knee on his neck and the dude's telling you can't breathe, I'm gonna feel a kind of way, because I know that circumstance. I've been through something similar. Obviously, maybe that's not extreme, but I've been judged on my skin color. And I would hope that's what maybe the chief was like, damn, hold on, that's fucked up. Yes, I know there's this police code and things like that, and brotherhood and sisterhood. However, I know what this is, so I need to rectify.
I mean, if someone's going to tell you they can't breathe, in my mind, I'm like, pause, like, stop. Because I would be afraid that I'm going to kill somebody, like they're going to die. Like, I don't get how you can have a position of power like that, and you just not have that feeling of being like able to disconnect and be like,
oh, that's human.
There's a lot of problems though within like the policing system altogether. I mean, you know, outside of the fact that, you know, that there's a lack of recruitment within the neighborhood. So you have people that don't live in that neighborhood that are policing that neighborhood, which is problematic. The other part of it is that police officers don't get a lot of training. These people make like what, $40,000,
exactly,
you know? You know, I mean, it's, and I'm not saying like, you know, like that's like nothing, but I'm just saying like, it's not like these guys have like, these are, you know, like high-powered CEOs who are bringing in six figures and like, you know, really care like what they're doing. Like a lot of them are fighting and flighting, and they have very little training, especially when it comes to like, you know, high stakes situation assessment, and very little retraining. They go through boot camp at the very beginning. If they pass boot camp and if they can do like 50 push-ups and run a mile every year, that's their training, you know? So I don't want to take away from like the whole, like,
I can hear Will right now. I can hear Will right now yelling at the damn screen, being like, that is not how it goes. Cause Will, part of the community, he is a police officer too. So I know right now, Will is going to be sliding in them DMs.
Sliding them DMs,
being like, what you not going to do.
Right. But no, that's true. Like there's not a consistent manual of the police system in this country. Like what happens in Minneapolis might not be what happens in Atlanta, might not be what happens in Seattle, what might not happen in the Ozarks of Missouri, you know? And there's definitely needs to be a sensitivity training
just education
for cultural reasons. And honestly, from the sounds of it, George, I don't know if he even lived in that community. He went to a store, tried to write a check, and the cashier thought he was writing a bad check and called 911. And literally that's what happened. They came, handcuffed him, and then we see the rest. And so it's just like, how do you go from that to that?
It's the same choking situation. You know, last year, somebody getting choked out who, you know, was doing nothing majorly criminal. And now you have somebody who was trying to, you know, write a check. And
he was like selling CDs, right? Or something like that. Like
something small.
Wait, George or last year?
Last year.
Yeah.
Last year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's just like, and the scary thing is like we saw the Amy Cooper and who I call the other guy, Mr. Cooper, hanging with Mr. Cooper. But same situation though. Like she called because she knew something like that probably could happen, you know? And it's just like something that simple could turn into this full-blown murder, honestly. And that's the scary part right now, is that literally people could call 911 on some bullshit and you could die. Like,
and it's crazy that she was wrong too.
At the hands of police officers.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. So it's just like, what do you like? And that's why there's this distrust within a lot of Black and brown communities, because like police are there supposedly to protect the community. Yet if the people that are protecting the community, quote unquote, are killing the people in the community, then what the hell do you do? What do you do?
Message.
So it's just like, and then people like a lot of the kind of fighting between everybody on like social media is like, oh, well, they should have listened, or they should have trusted the police, or it's like, no, it goes so deep now that it's so deeply rooted that there's no trust in the system. Like, why would
there is an
You
assumption.
know?
The problem of it is that when police officers generally arrive and there's a Black person on the scene and there's a white person on the scene, there is almost an assumption that the Black person is in the wrong.
Yes,
that's the problem.
Exactly.
And so like when you see two white people getting into a dispute and the police is called, they come and they try to mediate. But things get escalated for some reason when there are Black people involved. That's a problem.
Absolutely.
That's just a problem.
Absolutely.
Well, and you saw in that Central Park story, like people know that's a problem, and she was utilizing that for her advantage. Yeah. Like she was using that as a weapon, and so you know that's something that's intentionally done, knowing that it's going to play out that way by many people. And it's like it's good that you saw that on video at least to be like, look, like it's very obvious that people are doing this, knowing what they're doing.
And it's so interesting because when it comes to situations like the Me Too movement, you know. The whole thing is that believe all victims.
Right.
You know, except when they're Black. Because when it's Black, you have to have it on videotape. You can't have anything in your history that has, you know, that you couldn't have smoked a blunt in high school. Nope. You know, like, because if you did anything.
She skipped class, okay?
Right. So she deserved.
She overdrew her ATM account.
Right. So that police officer was okay to be high on PCP and go in the wrong apartment and pull a gun on somebody in the wrong apartment that didn't belong to them because this person back in high school skipped gym class.
Exactly.
Like, where is the equality there? So when it comes to like things like the Me Too movement, it's challenging for me to be like, okay, well, how can I put so much energy into that when you don't put the same, you white women, you know, that are being victimized and sexualized and whatever, aren't putting the same kind of energy to those of us who are also being victimized and sexualized and brutalized and murdered. Can we talk about Insecure?
Hold on, well, you know what time it is. It's already 48 minutes in there, so we gotta get.
We gonna switch.
Yeah, we gonna switch it up.
Okay, all right.
So, okay, what time is it?
Ask your auntie. And then the music plays.
All right, so this Ask Your Aunties actually this week wasn't necessarily asked to us, but we saw it come up and we're like, hold on, we gotta talk about this one. So, and it came from a straight person. So what we're gonna give obviously our LGBTQIA plus spin on it. So it says, I went on a date with someone I met on Plenty of Fish 2 years ago, which as a gay guy, I was like, what is that? I didn't even know that existed. But although it went well, there wasn't a second date. Her call, not mine. We've actually ended up matching on quite a few dating apps, but because I knew she wasn't interested, I never said anything. I just ended up matching with her again, and she actually sent a message. But I get the impression that she might not remember that we've been on a date before. Any suggestions on how I should play this?
I like brand new, but you know, let's have our guest go first. I would love to have our guest go first.
I was just looking at everyone's reaction to Plenty of Fish as a title. That was what brought me joy out of that. I mean, I've heard that before. I think that's tabbed right next to Farmers Only on your browser history, right?
And Christian Mingle. That's a trifecta.
No, we're all on Christian Mingle, of course.
Yes, honey.
Well, I just feel like this question spoke to me because as a single gay man in Harlem, in New York, in Manhattan, where the gays are all stacked on top of each other like this, I feel like Christian Mingle.
Okay,
Mingle girl, Christian Mingle. My bad.
You're right.
I feel like I swipe on people all the time where I'm like, oh, what's that person doing this year? Because it's like, oh, they updated their photo, seen them before, swipe, match, swipe. But I definitely went on I matched with somebody, and I was 6 or 7 messages in before he told me we had been on a date. He's like, do you want to go to the same place we went the last time? And I was like, yeah, I knew that.
Oh, wait, he called it out.
It was just like, he definitely called it out. And I think was like trying to be real cheeky with it. And I was like,
did he lose weight or something?
No, it was the same pictures.
Oh.
I've lived in this neighborhood for 6 years. I've been single for 5 years. You know, I've gone a lot of first dates.
Wait, so did you remember him?
My God.
And I immediately remembered.
Oh, you remember the second he said out?
Okay. Woo.
And I was so embarrassed. I was
so embarrassed.
God. And I was just like, well, yep, that happened.
Did you go on a second date?
We did not go on a second date.
Is that because you remembered?
I mean, yes, of course. You know what? Listen, at the age I'm at right now, I am not in my 20s anymore. A date has got to go somewhere because, you know, I could hook up right now if I wanted to.
You said purpose.
Yeah.
I feel that.
The first date did not go anywhere. It ended for reasons. It was not his picture. I realized that.
And so she said the same picture. Because remember, I asked, did he lose weight or something? She said same pictures.
So it was plenty.
Red flag it was
plenty of catfish. I'm here all week.
That's good. That's a
go home, Dad. Go home, Dad.
Boo.
Boo. Erykah Badu, get off the stage.
Right. Oh man. So like, if you were. Did he play that right? Was he right to call you out like that?
I feel like this is a lesson that straight people can take from queer people, is that straight people get like so uptight around the rules of dating and talking to each other, and gay people have a levity and like fuck it attitude with it when it comes to like, either like I'm dating someone that my friend dated 5 years ago. Like gay people don't get worried about stuff like that, or I matched with somebody twice. Just say it out loud and laugh about it and move on. You're adults. If you both like each other, then go hook up or go on a date or don't. Like whatever. It's a funny story to tell your friends when you get drunk on Sunday.
Ooh, that's
or Thursday.
Or
whatever.
I'm like, what day is it?
10 a.m.
Quarantine clock.
Right.
I think I agree with you on that actually. Because it's just like, especially after a certain point in life, like you said, like the older you get, you're just tired of playing the game. So it's just like, say what needs to be said, and we're either going to go to the same spot we ate at last time or we're not.
Also, straight people, if y'all want to just hook up. Like,
Facts.
Just also do that. Like, just calm down and just say what you want to people. It's not hard.
I hear you.
I'm straight friends.
I think it's a little different when you're from like small town USA.
Absolutely. That's why we're here to liberate America.
Yes.
One question at a time. You guys are doing God's work.
What are you thinking on it, Dewan?
Yeah.
I am like, I don't understand why he going back to the same pool. Like, I just don't get it. We talked about this a little bit before the podcast, and I don't get it. Like if you hook the fish and then for whatever reason fish got let go, why, if you are on an app called Plenty of Fish, are you going after the same damn fish?
Well, it sounds like it was a different app. So it sounds like they matched on a different app.
But I'm just saying, like at the same time, if you guys already connected and nothing came out of it, and if I feel like this is going to be the same situation. She's the John in this situation. Soon as y'all start talking, she's going to realize, oh, damn.
Reed.
Ooh, that wasn't Reed, huh?
She's a John.
The library is still open in COVID-19. Thank you.
She's here all week. But no, like seriously, like what's the point? What is the point? Like it's out of dating in general, it's a crapshoot that relationship will be your end all anyway. So if you're talking about going back to somebody that was a situation that was already failed, and you're just swiping on a different app that is also disposable because you know, and even if she messaged you, she could be sitting there messaging all the people that she then matched with, and she might not have even registered that it was you. And
so
then you have this conversation.
Her back since she messaged him? Just leave it be.
Move on. Okay. Move on. There's plenty of fish.
I'm on the other side of this. I'm on the other side of this.
Go fishing.
I say, don't
say
I'm a Leo,
nothing. So
act all brand new. Act all brand new. Because I'm a product
Get a haircut.
For instance, I ghosted Fiznik. And then came back, and then here we are today. So sometimes it takes a second time to actually to reach out and connect with someone for something to actually come up about, because you might have been in a different space the first time where you weren't giving it the right attention that you needed to begin with, and the second time you could be in a different situation.
So would you acknowledge that? Would you call it out, or would you just pretend, oh hey, let's go on a date?
I wouldn't make it a big deal about it at all whatsoever. I'm like, oh, let's go on another date. If you're interested, if you're reaching out to me after we've already hung out, obviously you want another chance. I don't care. We're human. If we go around giving people one fucking chance all the damn time, we're not gonna get nowhere in life. I believe everyone has a chance to redeem themselves. So that being said, a second time ain't gonna hurt nobody. Just don't go in there with your expectations through the fucking roof. Just be there being real. We crossed the street before. We might cross it again and get to the same goddamn place as before, and then go on about your business. Don't think, oh my God, it's really gonna work out this time. It might not.
What did Noxzema Jackson say in Tu Wong Fu when she was trying to go, when the fight was going on? She was folding her panties. Okay, go on up there if you want to. Don't forget to write.
You know, I don't know. I think John, I think you hit it on the nail for me personally. It's just I think we're just putting so much expectation on what it is. Take it for what it is. And like Jerrell said, maybe you go, maybe there's growth, maybe it's been a few years, maybe you're in a different situation, your mindset is different. You never know. But I don't think there's ever going to be a third time's a charm though.
Facts.
Oh, they're not getting married. Let's just be real here.
Let's be all the way real. So yeah, I
don't even know this couple, but I'm sensing it. Not gonna work out.
And the odds are very, very extremely slim. So why even waste your time on something that is?
What are his motivations? Maybe he just thinks she's pretty and wants to make out or hook up. And if that's the case,
he's Joe. For it. Maybe he's Joe from that series You, and he's obsessed.
But it's her though. She was the one that reached out to him, right?
Yeah. Maybe she's the serial dater.
Obsessed.
Yeah, she's a serial dater.
No, this smells like time being wasted.
Well, we ain't got nothing but time anyways right now in quarantine, so
exactly.
Go for it.
Would you say
you ain't doing nothing else?
Maybe this is the opportunity you need.
Take their advice and let us know how it works out. I will be very curious to find out, Mr. Anonymous, what your situation is.
And I'll find out, because the person that sent this question was on my social media, so I'll follow up, because I doubt he probably listens to this consistently.
I'd be very curious.
So I'll follow up. Yeah,
I'll be on the edge of my seat.
But okay, so AunTea Vodka Gimlet. Giblet? Is it Giblet? Is it
Giblet?
Did she say giblet?
Giblets are what you get from a turkey.
I thought it was giblet too. Was it not giblet?
Is that the culture? The culture just came out of me.
I thought you said giblet too. Wait, what is it?
Like, come on.
I said gimlet.
Oh my God, that's the culture that just came out of my soul. My bad.
Okay. A little bit of lime juice and some vodka.
Kerel, I co-signed that. I was
giblet.
That's her name.
Girl, you can tell I'm black.
Giblet is what comes out of a turkey, right?
Damn. But okay, so since you said earlier you're single, how is dating or hooking up and everything in COVID quarantine life? Because since we're all kind of taking, that's always been a curiosity for us. It's just damn, I mean, if I was single, how would this go down?
And she up here near where I'm at. So we're here where all the Dominicans and the like the.
I thought you were going to be talking about how New York is like the epicenter of this crisis. You said we're near the Dominican.
You in the right place. You at the appointed time, okay?
Those Ecuadorians, those Dominicans.
Oh my Lord.
That's true.
Come on,
well, I think dating and hooking up are two very different things right now in this climate.
I don't know where your mindset's at, so that's why I gave you both options.
No, I appreciate it. I see that. I appreciate it. I thank you. I have been trying to take this as seriously as possible because being in New York is very scary. The crisis that we are still in here, although it feels a little less scary maybe, but it's still not over. And so I've not been hooking up. I have been on the dating apps though, and still staying on Grindr just to see what's up and talk to people. And let me tell you, the way gay people are behaving is not encouraging. I believe I think a segment of our community cannot stop having sex no matter what, which is upsetting and troubling to say the least. But I have gone on a few Zoom dates, which are weird as hell, and I don't want to do anymore. What was
that like?
Oh yeah.
What was that like?
Zoom date.
I matched with somebody on Hinge, which is a little more respectable than Grindr. So I pretend like it's not a hookup app.
Unhinged. I'm here all week. I am here all week with the dad jokes. I'm sorry. Stop it, Jerrell.
I was like, I'm mad that anybody watching on YouTube can see me laugh at every one of them.
Right, the only one. Don't gas her up.
Everyone.
Because Jerrell and Dewan is like,
I feel like you two mad at me every time I laugh.
Look, we're like, don't.
Look, you see these expressions up here and down here? That's the real tea.
That's okay. I'm gonna keep them coming. Okay, my bad.
So we know you will, girl.
Hinge.
Oh Lord. Well, I know. So we did a Zoom date, and it was the first time I did a Zoom date, having never met before. Chatted a few times, and then had a drink in our apartments and talked. And it's fine. It's a weird time. I think like it felt very. I feel like it feels like every conversation I have right now where we only talked about how weird everything is, which isn't really fun on a date. And then it's like, well, what am I gonna keep doing Zoom dates until indefinitely? I guess I don't know. It felt like there wasn't a path forward that made me feel comfortable, so I decided to pause that for a little while.
How do you end a Zoom date? Like,
That's
what is like? Oh, it was great talking to you. Bye.
I mean, yeah, like I ended it like it's an interview, being like, well, this was really great. Thank you so much for your time.
Have a good day, bye.
He said, big ups, eh? Well, see you later.
Right.
Wow.
Well, you can't make up an excuse for leaving because you're like, I got to go to the
bathroom.
Yeah. I have another Zoom call coming up right after this with my mom.
You just stand there, act frozen, and then you just push the end button, like,
that's
leave.
I'm stealing that.
Look.
I'll cite you in the footnote. That's good.
Yeah.
Right. You got to make sure both hands are underneath the camera though, because you don't want to be like.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Oh.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye. Click.
Because last week we were talking about like how like the gays, of course, are having like all these like Zoom orgies and everything, and we're just like, damn, like is everyone still?
You talked about that last week?
Yeah, girl. Check the episode.
I mean, you want?
You did.
I feel like something like uncomfortable for us to look at as a community is. This is going to be far too real. I'm sorry. I just went to a real place. But like our relationship with sex, it is good to be sex positive. We should be liberated. But I think a lot of people in our community are sex addicts and like use sex to numb feelings, whether that's anxiety or, fear or loneliness. And if you cannot stop having sex when there's a pandemic happening, maybe you need to go to therapy and think about your relationship with it so you can get to a healthy place so you can have it freely.
Come on,
Floyd, you better read.
You better catch that Holy Ghost.
Come on, y'all, fix my life.
But as the word, as from the words of Mother Alexia, y'all heard that?
You heard that, right? That's interesting.
But that's not to be a slut shaming person, because like you should be sex positive, and you can do whatever you
Absolutely.
want when
Agreed.
it's safe. But like right now, it's not safe. So
Right.
That's the
Yes.
problem.
And
That's
I wonder
really the
if-
problem.
I wonder if some of it is a carryover from even when AIDS and like HIV first started, where there were still pockets of the community that were like, you know what, fuck it, whatever, you know, literally. And if it's just like this self-worth thing that a lot of times within the gay community we don't deal with all the time, or if we do partially, but yet if someone loves us, we're like, oh, attached to this person, and they dump you, your life is ruined, and oh, let me attach to this person and that person, and fuck everything. And there might be something to that.
I mean, I think as a community as a whole, I think we're still coming into ourselves as a community as far as like, one, even like for like representation on TV, you know, like just being able to be ourselves 24/7 and not just have to be in certain safe spaces to be ourselves. And so I think, Corey, you're kind of on that where like there are some things that we need to maybe just kind of revisit now that we're getting, you know, to a place where there's a lot more acceptability to, you know, to who we are as people, as gays, you know, as the queer community, you know.
Especially if you're at home sitting by yourself, I'm sure you have a lot of time to think and deal with shit that you haven't really dealt with yet. And like you say, you cover it up with sex, you cover it up with going out, you cover it up with drinking, you cover it up, cover it up. And now you have no choice but to stay your ass home, hopefully. And you're like, fuck, I haven't dealt with that yet. I haven't dealt with this yet.
I mean, the gym is closed. The gym is closed right now. So here's the bicep curls, you know. Bump, 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 bump. Ow. Like, just saying.
That's the song you do when you
look,
do that?
I ain't get these deltoids from nowhere, girl. I'm just saying. She got them from somewhere, bitch.
She said, booked and ready, booked and busy. Well, no, that's interesting that you brought that up. Huh. I never would have thought about it in that regard, especially because, I mean, I've been in a relationship for the last 8 years of my life. So, like, there's certain just parts that I either forget about or just don't think about anymore, that you being on here provides, like, a little kind of unique perspective on that COVID single dating sex life, honestly.
It's so funny because in my mind, I'm like, oh, to have a partner right now must be so nice because, like, you get to have sex whenever you want and there's someone around all the time. I was going to say, you talk about the grass is always greener. Girl, my partner friends are like, God, to be single and be in my own
right? Where did that fairy tale come from, girl?
These last
they know Cinderella, Rapunzel over here.
My relationship has been tested these last 8 weeks. Like, whoo, child, let me tell you, quarantine. They say check on your friends and relationships too. Like, because some people ain't making it out alive. Just saying.
And I think it's the same vein. I think even in relationships, there's stuff that like either happened that you guys haven't dealt with. There's stuff that you haven't dealt with yourself personally that like you just covered up with working all the time. You come home late, you eat, go to bed, and nothing ever gets handled. And so literally the whole world is going through stuff that you're like, damn, I've been in this relationship 20 years and I don't even know who the hell is in this house. And it's sad, honestly, because like you literally just get in routines of family, friends, this and that you don't even check in on your partner. You don't check in on yourself. Where do we stand in the relationship right now? How are you feeling? How am I feeling? And like Jerrell said, it does test you. And like, it's not all roses at all. It's work. It's probably more work, honestly, now in quarantine.
I need 2 vacations, one from work and one for myself. Like, I just want to read a book, be by myself sometimes.
I know, that's right.
That's it, in silence.
Anyway, I don't know what was else on our list. Oh, I know, Jerrell.
Insecure.
That and Legendary. Both of them. So which one you want to talk about first?
We'll go with Insecure first.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that first.
I'll let y'all go because honestly, I did not watch the last half of it.
What?
I did not.
It's only a half an hour, girl.
Right, you watched
a whole episode of a whole new show.
He watched 12 minutes and 37 seconds.
Today.
That's because I had just got back into Seattle when it aired, and it just completely slipped my mind. So
wait, so did you
take her black card? Take her black card.
Bitch, you don't take shit,
yes,
bitch.
Yes,
you won't take nothing.
Yes. Gone.
No,
Gone.
no. I watched the show. You
get it back when you eat some chicken, some fried chicken.
Girl, and she had some fried chicken yesterday too, from Azale's with the mashed potatoes and the homemade mac and cheese. What?
My favorite part of the episode.
Fried chicken. But y'all go ahead, tell me about it.
My favorite part of the episode, for those, especially in like my little friend group, already know what I'm about to say. Hashtag SOMF. Hashtag sit on my face.
Sit on my face.
She said, "Oh, but first
I forgot that."
She said, "But first you're gonna have to eat this ass," and I was like. I was like, okay, Molly, you nasty. Okay, I'm here for it all the way. So the episode, it was interesting how it started. Like, it's spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. Mm-hmm. Like, so she saw Issa go back to her car, and actually she saw Issa get out the car and pretended she was on her phone. So I know last week we were talking about, oh, she was on her phone and busy and this and that, not even paying me no mind, but come to find out she actually wanted Issa to probably come in. And was kind of a little shocked and hurt that she turned around and got back in the car. So that was an interesting little take on that scene. But then Molly and her bae, Andrew, I think, right?
Andrew.
They go on vacay. And the whole scene with her at the towel stand was like a real moment. We've all kind of been there. We've all been there. So I love that scene. I thought the whole episode was good. It was well acted. It was cool to see them in a different part of the world, a different setting. But that was whole...
Lawrence's. Actually, Lawrence did the directing for that episode. It was his first time directing, and so
really,
yeah. And while he was filming some of the other scenes, he would have to fly back and forth between L.A. and Puerto Vallarta to do site scouting and all of that to kind of scope out all of the scenes and whatnot.
Oh, that's a tough job.
It was really interesting.
Just fly back and forth to PV.
Yeah.
So I thought he did a good job. I
found it really interesting.
Oh, hold on. Just one last part. I love how they hit on the sexual nature, especially within straight couples. You don't see a lot of the playfulness, like the sex toys and the blindfolds and things like that. You don't see that really talked a lot on TV. So I was like, okay, they're really pushing the envelope.
He started to finger her on the airplane. I was like, oh, we have liftoff. Okay now.
So I was like, that's kind of cool that they're pushing the narrative, especially within the Black community. That seems to sometimes be a taboo topic that you don't share too freely. So I was like, I like they're pushing the narrative. Okay, so go ahead, Devon.
I really like the ending. I like the fact that she recognized that a lot of the things that are triggering her are things that are like more internal than just the surface.
Yeah.
So the fact that she reached out to her therapist to, get an appointment, I thought that was just really, really powerful. And I also like the fact, and while this isn't specific to the episode, I like the fact that they're showing Asian Bae. And I don't know how I feel about that name yet.
Yeah, they said a lot.
But if he's owning it, he's owning it. Then whatever. Yeah. But I like the fact that it's a portrayal of an Asian man in as a sexual being, because that's something that you just don't see. And I know that that's something that is particularly in American filmography. You just don't see Asian men in that kind of light,
sexualized,
and so light. I love that he is, like really embodying this fully realized character, and it's not a caricature of, like an Asian man or a caricature of what a boyfriend is supposed to be. It was just this fully realized character, and that was just really refreshing for me to see. What about you, John?
Yeah, I mean, that scene where she pulled out those panties thinking they were going to be real naughty, and then he went, "Whoa, I misunderstood the assignment." I do think there's something really nice, though, and liberating in like the frankness that they're talking about sexual relationships between straight people in the show. I also really like the complicated processing Molly and is Andrew her boyfriend, you said? Right, that's the name. Yeah, I'm so bad with like the secondary character names. Like when you get 2 degrees out, I'm like, I don't know, the guy with the hair.
Somebody.
But like the way he talked with his brother, and like during that awkward moment, the way he like defended her but processed feelings, the way they talked about it the next day, it was very messy in a real way. Like it was healthy and like messy and didn't have a resolution at the end. It wasn't like, and this is what we think about that conversation. And it seemed very real, and I like seeing Molly as a character like processing things without like ending them, because I feel like that's what she does in previous seasons. Like she ends a thing, and this didn't end. It had like an open messiness to it that she's working through, and I like seeing that.
I like that line where he was like, you pick and choose. Like, I had to look at my phone and I was like, I know I put down some notes from this episode where he said, you pick and choose who you give the benefit of the doubt to. And I was like, ooh, I feel like a lot of us do that, where it's just like, we hold one person this way, another person that way. And that person could get away with it. But the second this person does the exact same thing, we're all on that ass and picking and prying into that. And I was like, that's deep. And like when Andrew's brother said that to her, it was just interesting for her. I think that kind of almost started to spur the process of like, oh shit, maybe I do that, you know? And I think, like,
and let's not forget, she's a lawyer, so she is highly cerebral. So it's understanding and leveraging language and the use and connotation of words in the context of conversation or written is part of her, like it's part of her psyche. That's what she does. And you could tell that was really a good turning point, because I was interested to see what her response to that was going to be. Because when she said, you people only, claim, being people of color when it's convenient for you. And then that's when he said his line. And it was just like, first of all, I was mad at her for saying that, because that just totally eradicated her sense of self-entitlement and abuse in that situation, because she just did the same thing to them. But then I was like, damn, he called her for it.
Absolutely. And almost the whole episode was based around that, because even Andrew earlier in that episode was talking about how Nathan was dealing with mental health issues. And she's like, oh, damn. Oh, my bad. So the whole episode led to the ending of it, of her just finally realizing, oh, damn, I got some work to do on myself. And that's good to show that.
I do feel like, we're season 3?
4.
4, thank you. Yeah. Season 4, and this is the first full episode that didn't include Issa at all. I mean, there was a flashback, but the premise of the show did not really include her, even though her presence was very part of the episode. But this was the first one that was just primarily 90% of it was about one of the other characters. It's about Molly. And I think they've done a really good job of making you hate Molly through the writing this season, by the way that they set it up and the way that things have unfolded. And, obviously through a lot of like Molly's own behaviors that has been demonstrated throughout the years. But I felt like this was an episode that was owed to us, because it actually humanized Molly and help us to understand some of her perspectives and what's driving some things. And so for me, like seeing the very end, where she said, I'm starting to realize I'm falling back into old habits. I'm having a hard time letting go of things. That brought me back to the situation with her father. That brought me back to situations with Molly. The catalyst was that event in the pool, but she was able to be reflective by herself and actually take ownership. And so it gave some redemption to some of the struggle that she had been going through this entire time.
Yeah. And then we got a nice little cameo from Kim Fields, Tootie.
Yeah, when she was like, I've decided that I'm going to do this every day since that we've been married. I'm on day 3. I said, bitch, you just started your journey.
Oh, and you need to wait. Oh,
so look,
you need to see the second half of the episode. You got to see the second half of the episode.
That's why you got to tune in.
There's more, girl.
You
have to watch the last 15 minutes of that episode.
Like the last 2 minutes of the episode.
Okay, no, I said watch the last 15 minutes of that episode.
Because that's the only one I watched. Yeah, that's half of it.
You heard me.
But you know what? I did watch Legendary, though. I did watch the first episode of Legendary.
She did too.
Yep. Actually, we were talking about it. We were texting back and forth a little bit about it. I liked it. I still think it could be a little bit more as far as like real representation. I felt like you can sense that they were trying to make it digestible for people who didn't know what ballroom was. So I feel like it took away from the authenticity of it, especially like something like doing the performances, how they were editing, you know, like all of a sudden you see them dancing, and then you see a close up of someone's face, or you see the judge, or you see the crowd. It was just like, part about being ballroom is seeing the actual performance, and as soon as you take that performance away, you take away the essence of ballroom.
You can't take it in.
Right. So like I found myself like, you know, they all of a sudden they were bogan, you know, she had the hair going and she was getting it, and then they cut away, and I was just like, what is that? Oh, and then I'm back in it, you know. So I kind of felt that disconnect from it. But I love the representation. I love that they gave everyone a chance to tell their story, and you got to see how the houses, you know, are, you know, a family and who's part of the house. Like I really enjoyed that part of it. I also laughed because as soon as House of Gucci came on and Father Jerrell, I was like, of course his name has to be Jerrell. I was like, I know the aunties are going to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
I was like, and there is my character that I'm going to be first. It was Ladarius, son. It was Ladarius, and now it is Jerrell, my actual given name. But I mean, he was cute boots too.
He was cute too.
I was like, you better do our name right, girl. I was like, okay now. But no, it was cute. I love me the House of Ninja. That's who I'm rooting for so far. Them, and then Lavin, the House of Lavin.
Yeah.
Lavin. Yeah, those are my two. So.
Y'all so mispronounced that name.
How do you say it? Because I thought they said Lavin. No, that's not how they were saying it. That was not
how they were saying it.
No, that's not how they were saying it.
Mispronouncing the name.
That's okay.
It's not pronounced Lavin.
It's not.
That's what they said on there
either, but
right, exactly.
They
were saying Balmain. That's what they were calling. They said Balmain was their name.
I know. Yeah, mispronouncing it. Just like calling Versace.
No, I mean if your name is spelled one way but you say it a different way, that is more than okay because it's a name. Names can have more than they can have more than one pronunciation.
I mean, there's
Jerrell, there's Jerrell, there's Jerrell. Like they could be saying,
and you will be corrected.
No, you will not. My name. Absolutely not. Or your name, but someone else's name.
If you want to.
But someone else's name could be spelled the same but said differently.
Isn't it W.B. Du Bois said his name Du Bois, not Dubois?
Yeah.
Those are both valid pronunciations, but he said it that way, so that's what it is.
Both valid now, yeah.
But he says it. That's the name.
Right,
so when you're referencing him, that's like when you say Houston and you pronounce it Houston. No, it's not Houston Street, it's Houston in New York. If you are in Houston, you are in Texas.
Okay.
Correct. I understand that. But in this, they were saying that on that episode.
Right. Exactly.
That's what they said. Because even the judge was like, well, in the fashion industry, we say Balmain. And she was like, so why do you say Balmain? And he said, because we're the main attraction.
Exactly.
That is why he said.
So in that regard, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It can be okay. Honestly, it can be okay and it can be wrong.
We're gonna differ on that one.
Yeah, and that is okay.
Exactly.
that is okay. We can differ on that, and that is okay.
Both are okay. But I'm Team Ninja.
No, it's not.
That's okay, girl. You'll be fine. But hold on, it's gonna be Dewan and the Blinks again. I like Ninja. I like Lavin, how they were saying on the episode. I like Balmain, how they were saying on the episode.
See, okay, so do you?
I like aesthetically.
You see how she doing these digs, but it's okay for me.
That's how they said it. But that's how they said it. That's how they said it. You can't get mad because that's how they said it on the episode.
She be thinking I'm digging. I ain't digging. I ain't got time to dig.
But that's HBO really
needs to hire you.
Time to dig when you say Balmain like they said it in the show.
That's what they said on the show. And you keep saying it's wrong.
Deron is right though. No, but Deron's right though. You did say.
Oh no, he keeps saying we wrong, and I'm saying that's what they said on the show. Damn it.
But you could have just said it and not added that part though. I get what Duan's saying.
My bad, girl.
You could have just said it. I get what he's saying.
My bad, then. I apologize.
I understand that. But in this, they were saying that on that episode.
Right. Exactly.
That's what they said. Because even the judge was like, well, in the fashion industry, we say Balmain. And she was like, so why do you say Balmain? And he said, because we're the main attraction.
Exactly.
That is why he said. Yeah.
It can be okay. Honestly, it can be okay and it can be wrong.
We're going to differ on that one.
Yeah. and that is okay.
Exactly.
that is okay. We can differ on that, and that is okay.
Both are okay. But I'm Team Ninja.
No, it's not.
Ninja. I like Lampin, how they were saying on the episode. I like Balmain, how they were saying on the episode.
See, okay, so do you?
I like aesthetically.
You see how she doing these digs? But it's okay for me.
That's how they said it. But that's how they said it.
Wait, now as someone who has not yet seen the show, do they follow this like a certain number of houses, or does it change the whole time? Are these like characters you're gonna follow the whole time?
Yes.
So
it's a competition show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even realize that until I get my Max tonight. I don't know what's going on.
Duan, did you say something? I wasn't sure if your mic's on or off. There we go. She's back.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's a competition show, but I guess the first episode, they kind of just showed all the collectives. So I think there's 8 of them. And so even at the end of the first episode, they still give like the legendary trophy. So trophy in ballroom scene is everything. And so they did give almost like the first ballroom trophy. And we won't spoil that one for people who haven't seen it. So go ahead and watch it. It's awesome. But no one was eliminated. But I think from here on out, at the end of each episode, there will be a house that's eliminated.
Yeah.
And so there are some legendary houses like Ninja's in there. Saint Laurent's in there. Gucci's in there. And then there's some other ones that I personally hadn't heard that are in there. So and like Jerrell said, I like that they're starting to touch on some of the stories, because a lot of these stories we don't see on TV, especially like the transgender stories, especially within the Black and brown communities. These are stories outside of maybe a pose that you just don't really see on a national stage like this. You might see it in like a YouTube setting or in an IG story or something like that. But to see HBO go all in on this community, here for it. Awesome. Just because it humanizes it, you know? Just to hear them say, I got kicked out of my house. My parents were supportive of me transitioning and things like that. You saw the spectrum of it, which I feel like I hope they dive a little deeper. But at least for the first episode, it was cool for them to hit on these points within, I think the episode was only 50 minutes, and they got through all the performances, hit on these like little notes. I was like, man, they crammed a lot in 50 minutes. But I like Ninja, and I think I like Lanvin, and I like the aesthetic of Saint Laurent, but they just didn't have the energy.
Yeah, they really didn't have energy for me either.
Yeah, so
but they were pretty though. They were gorgeous though.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
So who are you rooting for, Duan?
I can't really tell yet. I'm really attracted to Ninja because they're all women, and they're all cisgendered women, straight women, and
international.
They are international, and plus just their house is kind of like the creation of Vogue altogether by Willie Ninja back in 1982. And they really brought it. Like, they really brought it. So, but I can't say that I'm like rooting for anyone yet, because I really haven't seen like what they're capable of yet. I think one of the things that's really interesting is like, this is kind of a mix between ballroom and so you think you can dance. So you think you can dance.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of production value going into this. And I think with ballroom, and it's like, Jerrell, you and I were talking earlier, it's like, I want it raw. Like, part of ballroom is that you're getting it raw. People are sweaty. People are like, like you're seeing their individual like expression, and this is very choreographed, which is interesting, you know, that it's like these group numbers, and they have like scenes with, you know, choreographers, like famous choreographers, to pull their performance together. And then they have like little individual performances or whatever. But I feel like the emphasis is on like the choreographed number as a team. And like that for me loses some of the grit, you know, that you usually get with the ballroom. And I say that not demeaning the show, because I think that the show is needed. I think it's valuable and it's thoroughly entertaining. And I would highly recommend, you know, anybody out there watching it to watch it. You know, but that was something I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh, this is great. Like, you're seeing like all the money that HBO poured into this, which is awesome to give them this platform. But then, you know, you also see that the production value takes away a little bit from the richness and the rawness that is like the ballroom scene.
I agree.
It's so interesting when. Oh, sorry. We did that. We had the good timing there, I'll tell you.
5, 6, 7, 8.
There's a parallel to like drag on TV too. Like when you commercialize queer art and put it into a 30-minute or a 40-minute, like whatever the TV segment is, and to a wider audience, there's like so much curation and give and take and like formatting that happens, and it's really interesting. And I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm excited to watch this show because it sounds like a lot of the same things that are happening in other queer TV shows, where you're getting some of the message across, but then you have to like put it in a digestible form, whether that's for straight people or for TV or for whatever the format is. And it's not a one-to-one, you know, it's not an exact representation of what it is in its natural like queer form.
Right. And I think hopefully as it goes on, you still kind of get more of the grit that you're wanting to want. Because I agree, like there's something about a ballroom where you get the sweat and the almost like the hotness and the stankness and the attitude, right? And
like I felt like everybody was on their best behavior.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure they were.
And they tried it with a couple of reads. You know, she was like, oh, how you gonna do it? It's like, oh, how you gonna do that with that jacket on? You know, like they, you know, behind the scenes, they try to, you know, cut in some read scenes. But when you're voguing, like you are reading each other, like you are like coming for each other at the same time. You know, just, I don't know.
And that's like, and I was going to ask earlier, like, what do you think about the judges? And for me, it's just like, as much as I love Megan Thee Stallion and the industry brings, as the season goes on, I don't know if she knows the nuances of the ball scene to say shit besides, oh, that was lit, or oh, the energy was tight. And, you know, she's like, oh, are you a thick girl like me? Like, okay, cool. That's going to be cute for this episode. But are we going to be able to take 8 episodes of Megan saying probably the same thing because she doesn't know anything deeper about it? And maybe that's just the first episode. Maybe she does know more and I'm reading into it too much. But I just felt like...
I think each judge brings their own thing, though. Because, like, even... La Roche was like, I am here to like judge, you know, off the fashion, you know, so I'm going to speak specifically on this, you know, but like he was judging in his lane.
As I guess I'm just getting at.
And that's fair. I understand being in the culture, but I mean, like, if we're going to talk about like how someone's judging outside of just saying you're a thick girl or you brought energy, like I think all 4 of them could do a better job at just judging well-roundedly on critiquing you know, on the ballroom as a whole versus a specific thing. You know, I think you know, they wanted Megan there to talk about the energy and did it make me move or not. Like La Roche is there for fashion.
They wanted Megan because Megan's hot right now.
That's true too.
Exactly.
That's true too.
She was a followers ad from a judging standpoint because she has a big following and that's all that they needed.
Yeah.
Which is another thing though, when you need to, you know, put something on TV, you need that audience, you need that.
That's true.
Yeah, and just do that. But like we said, like I'm gonna watch it. I'm like I'm not shitting on it at all. I think it's great. I think it is. I think it could have some improvements, but I think it's a show that needs to be on. I think it has a purpose, a message, and a place for TV right now, and it deserves to be where it is. So
I do feel
excited.
I do feel like they're going to turn this into, and rightfully so, because they're going to turn this into like, like the Vogue version of a RuPaul's Drag Race. They'll come up with all kinds of storylines and all these other kind of things, and it's going to have a specific kind of formula, which will take a little bit of the grittiness away from it. But I think the other part of it is that the amount of exposure that these houses will now get, and after this is said and done, hopefully that they'll be able to capitalize on to actually build fruitful careers. I think that the platform is phenomenal. So
it's interesting to think of how that would change the balls too, like the categories people walk, and like, because when you talk about Drag Race, it's funneled people into like, this is where we're all going. So then if you think about the balls and like weird categories like bizarre and stuff, that like, will people not be walking those? Will they be like, we got to get on TV, so this is what we got to do? Or will it just bring more attention to all of them? It's interesting to think about how there's like a give and take, and it will affect the actual community now too.
And I didn't know currently right now too, that like in certain parts of Russia, like not Russia, in Europe, but also in Russia right now too, that the ballroom scene is actually blowing up in the youth right now. Like these young kids are really taking into ballroom scene. So like this is a great way to just just give it a bigger platform too.
We've seen them two little Russian kids, the boy and the girl, like voguing to each other.
Yes.
Wait, I missed this.
It is the weirdest thing ever.
It's the weirdest video, man.
This video has been around for literally 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe I've seen it and didn't know they were Russian. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's 6-year-olds in Russia that can vogue the house down.
It's a boy and a girl that has her hair slicked back in a ponytail.
Yes, bitch.
I'll send it to you.
Okay.
The world is a weird place.
She said, bitch. I said, go ahead, bitch. She did it.
That's them young knees for you.
Speaking of trends too, I'm still feeling after that cool off challenge though, girl. I ain't gonna lie.
Bitch. Okay, but this is what I found out from the. Okay, so let's back up. So last week's episode, Jerrell, I don't even know what we're talking about. Oh, because I did the Do It challenge from Chloe and Halle.
Yes.
And so we're like, damn, if we do the cool off challenge, that's like that cardio workout. And get that little side.
What she got? She did.
And so, the cramp in the side.
Right up under the spleen.
Woo. So Jerrell was like, well, I've been thinking about doing it. And I was like, well, if you do it, I'll do it. And he's like, okay, bet. So we're going to do it. So as the week goes on, we put out the little episode teaser talking about that. And I always tag like whoever we're talking about. So Missy, Sean Bankhead, and so lo and behold, Missy Elliott responds to the comment. And we're like,
the
oh shit.
Icon, the living legend, Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott. And I was like, oh my God, did anyone see this? So like I sent it to Jerrell and Dewan. I'm like, did you see this? And so then Dewan was like, well, it looks like y'all gonna have to do it after all. And so I was like, damn it. Okay. And so it comes to be Monday, Memorial Day.
That happened on Sunday, and then it was a Monday. Yeah, Memorial
exactly.
Day.
Y'all posted on a Sunday, and here comes Monday, and we still didn't do it. And I wake up, and I'm like, oh, damn. Okay, let me see if I can start this. So I wake up, started looking at it and everything. I'm like, I ain't got the energy for this. This is crazy. So I started, I'm like, bitch, even the first, like the first 4 count, like with all the arms and shoulders and everything. By the time you do all that, you're like breathing heavy already. So I text Jerrell, I'm like, bitch, are you doing this? He's like, oh, I woke up like, fuck, am I doing this too? So we started, and then we both got frustrated by halfway, like learning this routine.
Quit. I legit quit. Like when I tell you, I was on the verge of tears because I was like, I can't dance. What the fuck is wrong with me? Like, this is a moment where I wanted someone. I was like, they gonna take my black card away. Like, someone can take that shit away because I can't do this simple ass dance move.
I know, like we're FaceTiming each other. Like,
we were literally. I was like, why the fuck can't I do this? I was mad. I told Fizz, I was like, don't talk to me. I just need some space. Like, I just had to put some music on. I had given up, and I was like, I'm done. This heifer over here.
Like once I get it in my head though, like I was like, I gave up, but I was like, no, like why am I giving up? Like I ain't got shit else to do today. Learn this damn routine and just do it, So I do it. I post it. And Jerrell's like, damn it, I had given up, but since you posted, I'm gonna do it too. And so he posted it. And so actually, and then I saw today, Missy actually retweeted it or re-storied it. But that routine, Sean Bankhead ain't shit for that routine.
No, the fuck.
You ain't shit for that routine, Sean Bankhead, because you get halfway through. You get to the part right before you get to the hands, and you're just like, let me make it through. Let me make it through. Literally, that's all I was thinking. It was like, okay, hands.
This part, this is where you get your energy at. Like I was like, okay. I was like, oh, this first part, all right. Cool off. She really made cool off at this part. Because then it gets right back into it. You just...
See, I felt the cool off part was the hardest part for me because I knew what was about to come. And so I was like, okay, do I go all the way in and not have energy for like the next 16 bars? Or do I kind of cool off a little bit, literally cool off to make it through this damn routine? And oh my God, it was a mess. And so like my shoulders, I found out my shoulders don't rotate as well as they used to. My knees don't bend as well as they used to. It was fun, but I'm not doing that routine no more.
No, same. I may pull it out every now and then. I don't have that kind of rhythm,
so I put myself out of the equation back in last week's episode. I'm not doing it. I can't do it. Ain't gonna happen.
I know. And then Buck said, "Boy, you need some more energy." And Jerrell and I are texting each other. He's like, "Bitch,
this bitch tried it.
We're gonna try to get some energy from in this routine."
Look, I literally, the video I posted was my first take. I tried a second take and I was already losing my energy. And I was like, I'm glad I got on the first take because that's the only thing that's getting posted at this point. Because it was just all downhill from there.
Quick. I did the routine so I posted 2 variations because there's certain things I liked in one and certain things I liked on the other. And Corey's just like, damn it, post it. Like, post both of them. I'm like, okay, leave me alone. But that was probably take 5 and take 8. And by the end, I was just like, I am fucking dead. Like, no more energy, no more. And plus, I did it outside and it was like 90 degrees on Monday. So it was too much.
Oh, see, yeah.
Much.
I will say this. It made me want to actually start dancing more.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to start doing this more. So I think, honestly, like I want to start weekly, like learning a new dance routine, you know, to some video. Yeah, right. Like I just.
Well, if you do it, I'll do it.
Yes.
That's how I always start.
Look, I'm over here doing insanity. That's enough dance moves,
right?
for a whole lifetime.
That's what it felt like. It felt like insanity. Like I did insanity years ago. That's what it felt like. Like the same kind of cardio, your heart getting up like that. Bitch.
Yeah.
So, have you done any TikTok dances, John? Or AunTea Vodka Gimlet? What's the name?
That was good. That was very good.
Okay.
When bars open, you need to go order one. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, what's the
she gonna end up saying a giblet? Why, bitch? What is turkey coming my drink from?
Where the gravy at, bitch?
And then you got to Instagram whatever they give you back. That's what.
Yes.
That's my challenge. Am I on TikTok? No, not at all.
No.
I have not the stamina nor the energy to download the app, not even do a dance. Are you kidding me?
Same.
It's fun,
I like when they repost them on Instagram, but I'm not doing one. I'll tell you that.
Look, I FaceTime Kerel. I was like, Kerel, how the fuck I do this damn thing? I was like, girl. And first of all, I recorded it just on my regular camera with the video and thinking I could just upload it into TikTok. No. You got to actually record it from TikTok. I said, I ain't doing it again. Oh, no, ma'am, I'm not. So you know what I did? I went and bought I bought the song on iTunes. I bought the song for $1.29 on iTunes so I can splice it together in the app and put the music together with the damn audio.
There you go.
I wasn't doing.
Yeah, not again.
No.
I almost did it one more time. And then it started to rain. And I was like, thank God, that was the signal to sit your ass down. It started to rain. I was like, that's all they gonna get. That's as close as it's gonna get today. Woo!
No.
Cool off.
Literally, that first arm that got me. That whole part. That
right
took me
here.
a while, bitch.
Right here, still sore.
Look.
Whatever this is.
That is why this was hurting. I was wondering why this was still a little sore. Because that's the arm.
To cool off.
Bitch. That makes all the sense now.
So speaking of music, are you guys fans of the Gaga Ariana song? Rain on Me? Dewan looking like
I know, I was looking at facial expressions before anybody said anything.
Don't let us scare you from your truth, girl. If you like it, girl, you like it.
Exactly.
Wow, it was a cold room for that. Okay. I enjoyed the song.
Yeah, that's okay. Go for it. If y'all enjoyed it, you can enjoy it.
I'm just ready for Gaga to have like fun dance music, and I think that's what we're getting because I was real tired of her for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people like her singing with whoever, Burt Bacharach, or whoever the fuck she did at that piano. I just don't have the energy.
Do you know the way to sing?
I'm not here for that. I'm not here for dressed up as Dracula jumping out the ceiling. I just don't have that part. It's a lot going on. So I'm happy that we can just go to a gay club someday.
And hear Meat Dress Gaga. We want Meat Dress Gaga back.
Well, I didn't say that. I don't know. I don't need giblets on her dress.
Come on, giblets. I personally just wanted more vocals, I guess, for me personally. Like the beat it's a dance beat. I can see people dancing to it. It doesn't move me like I want to be moved or I know that I could be. So I don't know. I mean, it was cute. The music video made me like it a little bit more, but I didn't save it. I ain't buying it. I ain't downloading it. It will not be a song that I will go purposely go and play myself. But if it's on, I won't say shoot the DJ.
What you think of Dewan?
I can deal with that.
Y'all should have seen that eye roll, girl.
I can deal with that. Like, the song really reminded me, like, don't get me wrong, it's not like a bad song, but it was a song that was just completely forgettable as far as I was concerned. It had no energy, it had no soul to it, and I'm not saying it was like soul music, but like it had no soul to it. It didn't touch me in the feels at all. It didn't make me want to dance at all. It was so tinny in terms of the beat. It was like so up here. There was nothing like down here, to like make me feel like anything attached to it. What it made me feel like was Pride Brunch with a whole bunch of straight white girls. Ooh. That's what it made me feel like.
Ooh, damn. Damn.
Ooh.
And everybody knows what that's like.
Damn.
That's like YMCA back in the day. Oh. So
I was hoping it was gonna give me like some break free-ish, from Ariana Grande's Dangerous Woman album. Like that's a great dance bop track. Like I run to that. I mean, that's a lie. I don't run to that.
I'm about to say you do.
I work out to it. She don't run nothing but this mouth. So that's why I had to retract that real quick. That was a lie. But I do work out to it. But, I mean, like, they both just have some hits that are dance hits that I just felt like they could have pulled from both that are really just, I personally think, iconic dance records that they could have pulled from to create something amazing for pop culture. And I just really feel like it was a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Personally.
I didn't mind it.
Like,
in community, if you like, I'm starting to do these random reaction videos just because it's fun to do. So check that out on YouTube. Subscribe. Thank you. But I didn't mind it. Like, I always look at music at different things, different way than I guess some people do too. But I knew what it was going to be. And I think I said in the reaction video, I was like, this reminds me of Upper Deck Sidetrack in Chicago drinking a slushie on a Sunday.
Yep.
That's what the song is. Like, you don't order the
Sunday
slushie.
Pride Brunch with white girls.
Well, that's, I guess, very similarly made. But I feel like it's not a drink you drink all the time. It's not something you do all the time, but you know what the lane is for, So that's what the song is. It literally, I guarantee you, it's probably going to be #1 on the Billboard next week.
No. Oh, I doubt.
It's going to be at least top. It's going to debut at least top 5.
It won't top Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande song.
So well, that was not even in the top 5 right now, or it might be 5 right now. It's
really?
Savage with Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce.
Oh, really?
And that just went up there because Say So was up there with Nicki for the last 2 weeks.
Finally, because now that's a song that your bitch can rock with, bitch.
But guarantee you it'll debut in the top 5 easily. But to me, it's just like, I know the lane. Like, I would have done that exact same kind of song with those exact same 2 people.
No,
because if you would have given 2,
I'm with you, Dewan.
Not at all.
No,
that's fine.
No,
because if you
why would you aim for mediocre? Come on now.
Names pop songs that are very, very good that actually end up being number ones. There's very few. There's maybe like the Adele's here and there that pop through. Every number 1 pop song is kind of a mediocre pop song. It's the same formula. It is what it is.
I don't think so. Ariana Grande's, what was it? 5 rings, 6 rings, or whatever. 7 rings.
The R&B track. She's so well. That's a R&B. That's a whole other topic.
But I mean,
it's not a pop song.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
Thank you next.
But it's not a pop song. It's not a pop song. Even Ariana just said it in her interview. She's like, "This is the first time going back to a pop lane." She's like, I usually kind of dabble in more R&B, and she's like, it was nice to actually go back onto the pop side. And I was like, I agree.
I get so emotional for you, baby.
How many years ago was that?
Listen, we didn't talk about the decades. We just said, you asked me to name a song that was a pop song that debuted at number 1.
Hey, John. How you doing, John?
I feel like
he did ask that.
Like, I feel Dewan is upset with me this episode or something.
No, it's not. But like, you can't throw these things out there.
That's a pop song.
Right.
Yes, that's a pop song.
Yeah, and it has all the feels.
Okay. So, anyway. But that was my conclusion of the damn song. There we go. It was predictable. Like, I could have, like, if you would have told me before they put the song out that it was going to be Gaga and Ariana, I could have guaranteed you it wasn't going to be a vocal song. It wasn't going to be that. It would have been too much for people to digest. People wouldn't have been able to digest a vocal song with Gaga and Ariana.
I mean, I understand. I get that part. But that aside, though, like the beat, like the sound of the song itself could have been completely different. Like it could have went harder. I mean, it honestly could have.
And we're about to probably get like 20,000 remixes.
But you know damn well we are about to. And they might be better than, I might like them better than the original.
John said his status at the beginning. Now he's like, damn, I ain't saying shit else because they're going to come for me.
Look,
I'm
you
just
see her face? She's just like,
right.
Compared everything to emotional. I'm like, well, if that's the standard we're judging every pop song at, well, then let's stop this conversation. I'm not arguing it's better than that. Like, yeah, you win.
That's what I was thinking, but I hushed.
I'm sorry, but when you have very powerful voices who have the ability to control it and deliver really great, amazing music, like both of those singers do, to come out with a song like that, like, again, I'm not saying that I was like checking for like this amazing song, because I'm not checking for Ariana Grande anyways, and I'm not checking for Gaga. I'm not a big fan of either one of those, but the song is a solid C, period.
Pooh,
Right.
I hear that. Look, I was ready for it. Period, Pooh. I'm with you. I agree. I give it the same grade. I honestly give it the exact same grade.
I give it a B plus because there's actually some chords in there that I was like, oh, okay. And actually, it's the same key. When I first heard it, I thought of Ariana's "It's All Right," and I looked it up, and it's the same key. So I was like, that's why. I was like, they're gonna blend.
Y'all looking up the keys of songs?
She does. She does. Okay.
I was like,
don't y'all this.
Check out.
This is not a y'all moment. This is not a y'all moment. She does.
There's a difference between. There's a difference between like the entertainment value and like the cordiality of a fucking song, and that's where we differ.
I feel like I'm just like, me like music after that.
Guaranteed they're gonna start blending "It's All Right" by Ariana Grande and "Rain on Me." Calling it now, because literally it's the same key and chord structure. But anyway, that's the nerd moment in me.
It's Pride Month. You know what? If people want to bop to it and they feel all the love for Pride Month through it, let's go for it, girl. Like, if you like it, I love it. I honestly, it is just not something that I personally give a damn about.
I hear you.
If everyone else like it, go for it, girl. I don't give a damn what's pleasing your ear and not. Like, playing in your face. Like, I don't give a damn. No. Me.
All I know is the gays are probably upset that this song came out, and here it is Pride Month, and like, damn, we ain't got nowhere to play
nothing with it.
Right.
Y'all can have a Zoom party. That would be appropriate.
Right. Speaking of Pride Month, are you guys doing anything special to help keep Pride Month alive for you individually, your loved ones and your friends, etc.?
I mean, outside of Minority Report, I don't know, honestly. Like, obviously, there's stuff we're going to do for here. Me personally, I just know, like, Larry Kramer is one that died last week, once this is out. So he was a big part of our community. And honestly, him and Dr. Fauci have a very complicated history. That's where it was Larry Kramer that pretty much pushed Fauci to really dedicate a lot of the time into AIDS and HIV, honestly. So he's a big pillar that kind of just passed last week. But I don't know. I always kind of just read articles and kind of stay up on shit like that just randomly. But outside of that, I'm staying my ass home because this is still real. The Rona is still real. And seeing people here in Atlanta, even over Memorial Weekend, crowding the neighborhood, I'm like, y'all are out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, bitch, like, I saw that post. I was like, not doing it. So, I mean, we'll do stuff for Minority Report, but outside of that, I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
How about you, John?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, right? It's weird to try and have Pride energy when everybody's not physically near each other, because that's so much of what Pride is about. Is just like physically being next to other queer people. I'm gonna try and live my best digital life. I think I have a couple shows coming up that I'm gonna be doing.
Share those with us so we can share too with the community. Please do.
Absolutely.
I'm doing on the 7th, which will be the Sunday after this episode comes out, I think, right? That's like that'll be our first online Pride show. I'm doing that with my drag mom Nina West and a couple of New York queens. So we're gonna try and kick off Pride that way. And I'll be on like Facebook and the YouTube lives.
Do you have your routine down already?
Oh, I'm coming up with all new stuff. So we're working on all new things.
Ooh, we get the new.
And it better not be rain. And it better not be rain on me, according to Jerrell and Dewan.
It's just going to be 3 remixes of that back to back.
Oops, my internet went down.
One to each of you.
Remember?
No.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a little performing, but then also I want to probably get a queer movie list going so I can watch some gay shit. I might tune into one of those club quarantine Zoom parties and do a little dancing on a Saturday night by myself in my apartment. Try and make do where we can.
I hear you. What are you gonna do, Dewan?
The only thing that we've talked about is we're going to do like a little Pride thing on our rooftop. So we haven't picked a date yet, but it's probably going to be towards the end of the month. And, when the weather's going to be nice, and grill out and get rainbow balloons and, get the music going and just, have a couple of people over, and that's it.
Chill out.
Yeah.
Look,
we ain't going nowhere.
Be on the lookout, community, though. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to go. Don't forget me. Don't forget me. I asked the question. So what I'm going to do. Okay. So one, I was going to finally do one of those 30-day music challenges that I see people posting on, but I wanted to post songs that really just inspired me and encouraged me and all of my queerness. So I just wanted to post songs that just made me feel just all my fabulousness,
Yeah.
So that was going to be one thing I'm going to do via Instagram. The other thing I'm doing, I've ordered 8 queer LGBTQIA+ books that I'm going to be reading this month. So I'm going to be reading all 8 of those books, and also like doing some reviews and like posting some comments and stuff like that, encouraging other people to do some reading as well.
Oh.
And then outside of that, just checking in. I'm going to try, it's a lot, but I'm just gonna try to reach out to a friend every other, if not every day, like every other day, just being like, hey, how's it going? I know this is Pride Month. This is normally where we refuel and refill all our queerness, and we're ready to just, you know, tackle the world again. And so without this, I know there are some people out there who just mentally and emotionally won't be able to process, or may struggle processing themselves and the joy that they have for themselves without Pride Month. So just gonna be checking in with my fellow queer, you know, community people, and just, you know, just trying to make sure that everyone, them checking in and boosting people up. So that's my thing.
I love that.
I love that too. Well, community, be on the lookout. We got a couple things coming up this month. We got a tea dance coming up. We're determining the date. So by the time you hear this episode, we'll probably solidify all that. So stay tuned to like IG and all our social media for that. What's your social media? Let's plug your social media before we get out of here.
Little old me.
Yeah.
I'm on Instagram, and everything else is Kari Kerning. It's KariKerning.
Yeah. And we'll be looking out for this little June 7th little shit.
Oh, yes. I will be posting all the details on my Insta channel, but yes, it's going to be real fun. 8 o'clock, June 7th.
Perfect. But community, happy Pride again. It's Pride Month. Let's be proud of ourselves. And I think that's it. I guess we'll see you next week. And be proud. Wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass.
Yes, absolutely. Social distance, y'all, so we can be done with this shit.
Absolutely.